Welcome to La Vida Rosa. I'm your host Pinky, and today we're going to be talking about Married at First Sight, the reunion part 2. And I'm going to throw in Where Are They Now at the end because y'all, they gave us nothing, okay? So if you'd like to see more, then just stay tuned. But before we begin, I would like for everyone to check out my website, lavidarosastyle.com, where you can find cute accessories like the ones I'm wearing right now. The link is down below. Like, comment, and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into this video. I also wanted to tell y'all thank y'all so much for the birthday wishes. Y'all sent me so much love, and shout out to everyone who sent cash apps. I was not expecting all of that, but y'all really did make me feel special on my birthday, and I totally appreciate it. And also shout out to the winners of the giveaway that I did on my live. I think I want to start doing more giveaways because I have so many products that I get sent all the time and it's just piling up, and I know I'm not going to use all of them. So I think I'm going to start doing more random giveaways, so look out for that. Y'all, this reunion really turned me off to majority of these people. I am so glad this season is over. The few people I was rooting for, this kind of like ruined it for me. If the reunion didn't do it, it definitely was the Where Are They Now. Just totally, I'm just done. I'm just so aggravated. So we pick back up with Zach and Michaela, and honestly the situation between these two playing hot potato with the stage is even more childish and strange than it was on part 1. So Michaela, even though you said you were the one that did not want to be on stage with this man because of whatever your reasons were, you decided to come storm out when it was his turn to, you know, have his time to talk. I don't blame him for leaving and saying he wasn't going to do that because, girl, you had ample opportunity to be able to be on the same stage together and actually have a civil conversation, but you didn't want to do that. So here we are. So once Michaela leaves the stage, he comes back and he tells his side of the story as far as Michaela moving in for a week after decision day. He said that after decision day, they ended up getting into it, and he decided to drive her back in her car because she's tipsy, and she gets out and breaks the window of her car. Then he told her to stay with him because something happened to her at work. I was so confused because, okay, let's say all of that is true. Why are you still entertaining her? Like, this is why we say that you are playing with her emotions, because for you to be someone who is done with this relationship, you don't want to be married with her, you want a divorce or whatever, why are you inviting her back to your apartment? You could have easily called her Uber. You could have easily taken her home. But no, you brought her to your apartment and she broke her window in the midst of things. Like, why are you entertaining this volatile behavior knowing that you don't want to be with this woman? And then he went on to say that she only stayed for 4 days instead of a week, as if that really makes a huge difference. And then he did say that they were intimate. And then Kevin was like, so you thought Nookie would help her? Okay. He said yeah, because he kept rejecting her. And it's like, no. Okay? Drop the nice guy act, because that's not something a nice guy would do. I'm sorry. I'm going to need for you to drop the whole nice guy act. We see straight through it. It's transparent at this point, Zach. Please. Regardless of how you feel about Michaela and whether she's ready to be married or not, I think we all know that she shouldn't. But we know that she has feelings for Zach. You know what I'm saying? That's clear. And he seems to be toying with her by continuing to sleep with her for his own gratification. That is not right. Both play a part, definitely, because she definitely plays into it. But I feel like she does because she actually liked him and she actually wanted this to work. He wants to be viewed as like taking the high road. And then at the end of his segment, he said he no longer wants to be married, but he wants to have kids. And I'm just like, please seek help first. I feel like you still have a lot of healing and growing to do before you should bring children into this world. This whole thing just completely exhausted me. I was so tired within the first 20 minutes, I didn't know what to do. So then we move on to Bao and Johnny. They haven't seen each other since decision day. Johnny said that their relationship went south like right before they sat down individually with Dr. Pepper and Pastor Cal. And it's like, okay, you're conveniently leaving out that you threw a major temper tantrum. You were going on a smear campaign with everyone on the cast and your family members, trying to make Bao seem like she's the worst person to have ever walked this earth. And then you quite literally told your wife that you would much rather have been matched with anyone else on this earth but her. How can a relationship thrive when you're constantly spewing toxicity? You had did all that. Bao was at her breaking point. She was done with you. So is that why you're saying it went downhill? Because she stopped putting up with all your mess? They replay a lot of their most contentious moments. And honestly, Johnny should have been so embarrassed and honestly apologetic when they played back those clips, because that was really embarrassing how you treated this woman on national TV, somebody who didn't even do anything to you. He didn't take any sort of accountability. He got to lie and skirt around the issues. And this is why I say Kevin picks and chooses his favorites, because he really did not hold Johnny's feet to the fire at all. And I feel like Johnny definitely should have been taken to task for how he treated Bao. He really has been one of the worst husbands to have ever been on this show, because he blatantly would tear her down in front of everybody. And instead of taking any sort of accountability for his behavior, he always has to blame her. It's always her fault. He's always going to bring it back around to how he is the victim. I mean, because at one point he said, well, I feel like I couldn't speak my mind. That is literally all you did. We know exactly how you feel about Bao, because all you did was speak your mind about how you felt about her. Then he brought up the fact that they made an agreement to speak off camera first because of her social anxiety. I don't necessarily think that's the best idea. I don't think you should come on TV if you don't plan on being as open as possible and sharing as much as possible. This is a reality show. At the end of the day, you're supposed to be showing your life. I think she just wanted to control her image because she's a professional woman. I don't think it's because she was trying to make him look bad. So yeah, they didn't share certain things, like when they actually first consummated their marriage. He said that he also didn't like the fact that she liked to plan conversations. Planning conversations is completely normal. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've said, well, look, I don't feel like talking about this right now. Can we talk about this another time? And yeah, we could talk about this at this time. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is not an abnormal thing. That's actually very common and very healthy, because a lot of times your feelings are too heightened to discuss something in that moment. That's why you threw that tantrum that time. Maybe y'all should have waited and been like, look, let's talk about this at this time when we're both calm. So yeah, he was trying to twist everything and try to make her look like she was manipulative. But I just really think that you are manipulative, and it's sort of like when your partner constantly accuses you of cheating when they are the one that's actually cheating. I feel like Johnny is the one that is manipulative, narcissistic, beating her down, making her walk around on eggshells and not being able to speak her mind. And he's making it seem like she's doing it to him, but clearly, no, sir, you're the one that's doing that. And I saw that a long time ago. Everything that he does, he tries to blame her for, and it's really weird to watch. So after he says all of these awful things about Bao and how, he just could not breathe being with her, Kevin says, well, why did you decide to stay married to someone who would do that to you? And he said, oh, well, I thought the real her would come out after the cameras were gone. At the end of the day, Johnny, you got the real her. You just were not attracted to her. And that's fine. But don't stick around and make somebody's life miserable because of it. Kevin asked them, are they dating? Johnny said that he is dating, but he's in therapy. I'm glad you're in therapy. I hope you fully embrace it and actually see where your flaws exist and take accountability for them so that you won't do this to someone in the future. Bao said that she's dating too, and I'm like, I'm sure you are. They keep trying to push this rumor that he's dating Mirla, and it's like, don't nobody believe that. Don't nobody believe that. Like, why y'all keep trying to make us think that? Nobody believes that. Johnny, you are the Gretchen to Regina. That's what that situation is. Stop trying to make fetch happen. Because then they start talking about, well, I was saying like halfway through the experiment, maybe we should do a wife swap thing. First of all, you are such a jerk for saying that while y'all were literally still married and still trying to work on it. I mean, that was preposterous for you to even say that. I would probably would have left him if I would have heard him talking about some stuff like that. Like, that is not cool. And second of all, I think the idea of wife swapping and mixing and matching, I really think that's gross when you're still in it. People are still trying to work on their marriage. Why are y'all even entertaining a conversation like that seriously and laughing and joking about it? And we're going to get into that later, because I did think it was disrespectful when Kevin asked that question again later. It was just weird how excited and giddy he got when they brought up Mirla, and it's like, she don't even want you like that. She looks at you as literally her sidekick, and you happily sit there and it's the lap dog right next to her. But Bao did make it known that she would love to be matched with Zach. I'm sure you did. So then the experts came in, and look, I think at one point in this show, maybe in the first few seasons, I felt like the experts actually, I feel like their opinions actually held weight, and they actually did choose the matches. And, you know, I think they actually participated in the vetting process or the casting or whatever. I'm sure they had a hand in it. I feel like present day, the experts are just like the spokesperson for Married at First Sight, and literally they're just the face in the front to defend these terrible matches. I don't feel like any one of them have any sort of real say in who gets matched with who. I really do not. Who's ever the casting director, the producers, or the powers that be, those are the people that truly are picking the matches at this point. What they're doing is just working with what they are given. And, you know, they are choosing to participate in this, so it's not like they're completely blameless. But I'm just not, I don't feel like going through all of, oh, well, y'all should have been. I don't even feel like they chose these people to be matched together. I feel like they're playing in our faces, basically. I only really want to discuss what they had to say about Jose and Rachel and Mirla and Gil. Basically, I was glad that Dr. Pepper called Jose out for being controlling and the fact that he has anger issues, and she did not bite her tongue on that. But I just didn't like the fact that they were low-key pushing them to stay together. This is a toxic relationship. There was no point in y'all bringing out Jose and Rachel if y'all were going to be encouraging them to stay together. That whole segment should have been slashed, because if you're telling him that he has controlling anger issues, he doesn't need to be with anybody but himself. Work through those issues, and then maybe you'll be ready to be in a relationship. And then they bring out Gil and Mirla. Dr. Pepper and Pastor Cal really confronted Mirla and was like, you were saying something completely different during the season. So for you to switch up the way you did, it's just not adding up. It's not making sense. I mean, that's how we all feel. They played the clip of her crying and gushing over Gil, and he literally was so emotional watching that. Like, you could feel it, because it's almost like whatever hopes and dreams that he had of their marriage, like that clip kind of almost validated that what he thought it was real, and that clip kind of validated it. And then for her to just flip on him out of nowhere, like, it's almost psychotic. I don't get how you can go from that to completely dropping somebody and saying you're not attracted to them. And honestly, I just really wanted to give him like the hugest Iyanla hug and just rock back and forth. Like I don't want Gil, but I just wanted to comfort him, because he just looks so upset, and I can only imagine like being blindsided the way he was. Like I said before, he was blindsided to the core, and he wishes that she would have been more upfront and honest with him, so he wouldn't have been so caught off guard. Because I feel like that's what a lot of this is. He was completely invested and he was caught off guard. She's just so cold with her responses, and you know, that quote, honesty without compassion is just cruelty. It's like, girl, just don't rub it in further. She just kept, I just wasn't attracted, and it's just, this man is sitting up here emotional, crying. He said he hasn't even cried this entire time, but this is making him break down, and you just seem like you don't care at all. Dr. Pepper pressed her even further, like, you did these major expressions of love and then you flipped, so we need specific examples as to why you don't want to be with him anymore, other than like, oh, I just wasn't feeling it. Like, this is a whole marriage. Like, what we need to know, like, what were the specific things? And you know, she said she didn't feel safe with him to make financial decisions in the future. And you know, it's crazy because we saw in Where Are They Now that Gil is, you know, training to be a paramedic, and he's, you know, kind of like, seemed like he's moving up in ranks or whatever. And I feel like he would have been willing to do that had she given him a chance to work on it. And that's kind of like what Pastor Cal was saying. Like, when you get married to someone, you know what I'm saying, like, he might not have been there at that moment, but I feel like Gil would have done everything he could to work hard to be able to financially pull his weight. That's what it seems like. And Pastor Cal also said that she was self-sabotaging out of an irrational fear. Basically, he was trying to get her to see that she's giving up something that could have been great over momentary feelings, because no marriage is perfect. And honestly, it just comes down to Mirla is just as shallow as everybody thought she was. She can't get past his looks. If that's the case, I'm glad she did leave him and didn't continue on, you know, lead him on for years or whatever. But I wish she would have just said no on decision day, instead of letting this man sell all of his stuff, move in with her just to leave him. Like, that is where it just seems like it's cold-blooded. She just doesn't have any sort of remorse for dragging this on. It didn't have to be, it just didn't have to be like this. Then we gather all the cast together. Michaela and Zach are not sitting together. Mirla and Gil are not sitting together. But Johnny and Mirla are. And they get on my last nerves this entire time, because they are so, it's as if they're trying to dig the knife deeper. Not so much Mirla. I know Johnny is with Bao. It's just such a callous coldness that she has with him. But they brought up the fact that Mirla and Johnny went to Cancun together, when in actuality, they both were just in Cancun at the same time. And, you know, once again, they were trying to make it seem like, oh, Johnny and Mirla, are they going to be a thing? Gil was not amused whatsoever, okay? He almost scared me. The look in his eye looked like he was ready to snap at any moment. I'm glad he doesn't have the temperament of Michaela, because Johnny, you don't stand a chance, okay? You might want to toe that line a little bit better. So then they brought up Hurricane K. It was literally so cringy and embarrassing to watch all that footage all over again. I know. I really hope her seeing that really did make her want to change, because that really is embarrassing for someone to be 30 years old behaving that way. I just turned 30, and I can't imagine losing it in that way over something so minuscule. She really was laughing and didn't seem really apologetic, so it made me feel like she didn't learn much. They really didn't hold her feet to the fire about that situation at all. And then she played the victim, relating the situation back to her dad, and she felt like Zach was being vindictive. And I feel like, Michaela, this is like a personal traumatic experience that you need to be treated for. And I'm not being funny. This is not a joke. I'm not, you know, just calling her crazy and brushing it off. No, you are still greatly affected by losing your father the way you did. And I feel like this is something you really need to work through, because Zach leaving should not have caused you to react that way. I thought Zach did the right thing by leaving, because y'all were having too many explosive arguments. I don't even think that you or him should have been allowed to come in the first place, to be honest. But him leaving was for the best. Zach tried to apologize, but she was Hurricane K at that point. She shut him down. And I don't think there's anything he could have said at that point to make that situation right. So he just gave up. I feel like she was still upset from what happened earlier that day, you know, when they had got into it and he was saying those things about her. But I do think that Zach was trying to make it right in that moment, and she just wasn't ready to hear it. And it just made the whole room uncomfortable. And then Kevin asked this ridiculous matchmaking question once again. People have always done this. Ever since I first started reviewing this show, people have always said, well, this person would have been better with this person. This person should get with this other person. I never thought it was cool, because I don't think if you're in close proximity with someone, you met them in a couple, y'all have had intimate conversations with one another, y'all have given each other advice about your relationships, I don't think it's cool to then sit up here and mix and match when some people here really did invest in the relationships and actually want to get married. This is what showed me these people were not actually invested in wanting to be married. They did not take marriage seriously at all coming on here. Okay, for you to be able to joke and play around, oh, I should have been married to you, or oh, I should have been married. No. And I know a lot of people probably looking at me like, oh, it's not that serious. But I take marriage seriously. I just don't think it's cute to say, well, our marriage didn't work out, so let me hop over here. It's like, did you even take the time to work on yourself before you go over here first? Like, you're just going to make the same mistakes you made over here, the same carelessness you had with this marriage. You're just going to take it over there. I don't even think a solid, valid relationship could come from that, because your values are jacked up. So yes, I feel like for the people who are truly invested, it's a slap in the face to ask a question like this. And Gil took it very seriously. So when Johnny and Mirla started laughing and joking and thinking it's cute, Gil became upset because he's still, you know, in his feelings with Mirla. He was angry and he got up and he walked out. Michaela ran after him. I'm guessing she feels the same way. I feel like he's right. Very few people in this cast took marriage seriously, and that's why they can joke about it, but it's disrespectful to the ones who are truly invested. When he walked out, Johnny was trying to be smart. Oh, I guess he didn't like that question, and I was so glad that Rachel shut him down. I see why the men don't fool with you, Johnny. I see why they don't like you like that. I see why you get along better with Mirla, because both of y'all are catty. So that was the reunion. It put a terrible taste in my mouth for these people. I was completely over it. And then we get to Where Are They Now? And I low-key didn't even really want to watch it, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. I'm just gonna give y'all a brief synopsis of the things that I want to discuss, because this is like literally, this is my face the entire time. It was boring, very uneventful, but let me just tell you what I think. So Gil, I already told y'all he's going to paramedic school, and that's why he's grown his beard out, because now he, you know, wants to be a paramedic. He's shocked to hear that Mirla is getting a dog, and I feel like it kind of twisted the knife a bit in him because of, you know, she was so anti-dog when they first got together, and now she's going to get one. You could tell that he's still heartbroken over this, and he sat down with a therapist to discuss, you know, basically letting it go, because he was blindsided. And so the therapist said the hardest part is letting go of the narrative that you created. You know, you wanted to spend the rest of your life with this person, and it's not going to happen, and you kind of have to create a new one now. And so he was still wearing the ring, y'all. He was still wearing the ring. At the reunion, he was still calling her his wife. Like he was completely 100% invested in being married to her. And so, you know, it was even hard for him to take the ring off. He said the ring represented that he was still willing to fight. Oh, child, he barely wanted to take it off. And, you know, when he did, I feel like that was a good step for him to move forward. Later on in the episode, he met with Michaela, and, you know, the cast ended up doing like a little cast trip, which I thought was like, why would I want to go hang out with my ex? Like, what? This is so stupid. And he said he just wants to heal before he moves on. I'm glad he's doing it the right way and not taking advantage of the fact that, you know, all these women want him right now. You know, do you first, work on you, and then that will come. You have plenty, baby. Okay, I'm sure they all down in the comments right now. So then we have Johnny. He is so worried about going on this trip because he doesn't want to argue with Bao. And it's like, Bao's not even thinking about you. You discuss Bao way more than she does not care, honey. She does not want you. And he just cannot take it. Y'all really don't have to talk. You just salty about the fact that she don't want to talk to you. And he really is like the worst kind of ex. The one that constantly talks about you behind your back after y'all break up. Like, let it go. Let it go. And then the fact that he got with her ex-best friend to have a bash session. Like, it was so cringy. It's so weird. You look like the weakest man on earth. You're still weirdly obsessed with Bao. That's the reason why you can't let this go. And he claims he's in therapy, but she needs to be in therapy. She needs to. Who cares anymore? Even if she is this crazy person, you don't have to deal with her. Why do you care if she's in therapy? And when he did end up seeing her, you spoke to her and she didn't speak to you. You was big mad about that and left. Why do you care that she didn't speak to you? You don't like her, I thought. Like, you need some help, Johnny. That was really, really weird. Why did you leave? She wasn't even concerned about you. Y'all didn't have to talk about each other. It didn't have to be weird, but you made it weird. Don't you realize that you are the issue here? Rachel and Jose, her family and friends hate him, including Mirla. Mirla do not like him. Mirla wants a hot girl summer partner, apparently, which I don't want her to be with Jose either. Her friends kind of checked him. They couldn't really go all the way in because she still want to be with him low key, and so they gotta accept him even though he ain't taking full accountability for what he did. And I just hate those situations. That's so annoying. Like, why do I have to accept this fool just because you want to be with him? But I don't think they're together at this point because I saw Johnny post a picture of Mirla and Rachel at his home for Thanksgiving, and he said missing one for like obvious reasons or something like that. So I don't think they're together. Thank God. You dodged a bullet with that girl. And finally, Zach and Bao. Everything about their scenes were so contrived and fake to me. I didn't really have a problem with Zach and Bao being together before this. It didn't really bother me. But after watching this, I might have to eat a little bit of my words of what Johnny said about Bao, because it did come off very orchestrated to hide the fact that they've been talking. You can't tell me that Zach asking her out on camera, that was the first time they've ever thought about each other in that way. You can't even tell me that they ain't been booed up. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Y'all were a little bit too comfortable with it. And they said that they were just being friends. I don't believe that. I don't believe a word that they say about that. Like the conversation that he had with his brother, it was clear that they were just trying to make it seem like, oh no, I wasn't plotting on Bao. This just came up. Zach, you have proven yourself to be deceitful, so I definitely do not believe that at all. I feel like that whole conversation was placed there perfectly to make it seem like y'all wasn't talking, but I feel like y'all could have even been looking at each other while y'all was married to y'all partner. Now, mind you, I'm not defending Johnny or I'm not defending Michaela. This is not in defense of them. I'm just saying it's some shady stuff going on. It just makes me think about when she was all up in Michaela's face, wiping away her tears. I think she was probably even plotting back then, y'all. I'm sorry. They was being too sneaky and deceptive this episode for me. It was also weird to me that they didn't tell anybody that they went on a date. It's kind of like they were being sneaky, going behind people's backs, but yet it's being filmed, so they're gonna see it eventually. So why are you being so sneaky? It's like, why are y'all used to being sneaky is what I'm saying. Like, how come y'all didn't tell nobody? I don't know. I just feel like y'all been doing this. That's why it's coming to y'all So naturally to act normal or act like y'all not talking to each other in public because y'all used to doing it. And I feel like y'all been sneaky linking a lot longer than what y'all trying to portray. And Bao said something about Zach not being a man child like Johnny. Girl, Zach and Johnny got more in common than what you think. You think you sitting up here getting a prize. It's crazy because Bao was the main one calling out Zach for his F-boy behavior when it came to Michaela. But do you think he's going to treat you any differently? And maybe he will, because you know how men be treating their preferences. They be treating them, you know, they be acting like they put them up on a pedestal. I would be careful because he said that he didn't want to get married anymore and that he just wanted to have children. So I would be careful that he didn't just make you a baby mama. I'm just saying. But anyway, y'all let me know how y'all feel about this down below. I am so disgusted with this season. I am over it. And then they've already given us the promo for next season. I mean, dang, like we barely gonna get to breathe before we get this next season, y'all. Let me know how you feel down below. I would love to hear your opinion. Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you in my next one. Peace.